16-year-old Gabriel Williams and 14-year-old Kamari Blevins are both charged with first-degree premeditated murder.
15-year-old now charged in the murder of Kayla Love. The young girl's body was found in a park.
Say a 14-year-old boy has now been charged in the armed robbery of a 7-year-old in South Memphis.
19-year-old on probation and free from jail on 3 bonds is now accused of murder.
Where the girlfriend of the 15-year-old boy stabbed to death at Santana Row is testifying against the 13-year-old murder suspect.
Police have charged 14-year-old Keyshawn Hughes as an adult in the case. He faces several charges, including 2 counts of felony murder.
Court documents include images of the suspect, whom investigators believe is the teenager currently in custody.
15-year-old will now be charged as an adult in the shooting near the Greektown neighborhood this week.
Police have now arrested one of Maryland's most wanted teens. This is 18-year-old William Marshall. Police say he shot and killed another teenager.
They arrested 4 teenagers outside of the Towson Town Center after they say those 4 teens assaulted and robbed a different group of teenagers inside.
The 15-year-old shot 24 times, murdered just around the block from his home.
2 middle school age boys and a 15-year-old boy are facing serious charges as adults in connection to a rape case involving a 12-year-old girl.
A 13-year-old girl was sentenced to the maximum amount of imprisonment under D.C. law in connection with the murder of Reggie Brown. She is the first of 5 teenage girls being held responsible for beating the 64-year-old to death in an alley.
That was just this last week.
Frankly, I love his voice. I love his accent. I love his vibe. I mean, I'm probably not going to like what he has to say, but he's definitely got an energy about him.
Holy fucking moly, Batman. And none of these stories will be national headlines. That one will. That one.
2 middle school age boys and a 15-year-old boy.
Specifically, because it was extra bad. That one will make national headlines, but the thousands of other ones that happened by the week will be swept right under the rug. You know, but Trump, did you hear about Trump? Did you hear what Trump said? Huh? Did you hear what Trump said? That's what you need to be worried about. That's what should have the population scared under their beds. Not these kids. Lord, not these kids. There was a day where children knew their place. Children knew that they were children and acted accordingly. Not these kids we've got in 2026. They've come a long way, and it's a lot of reasons why. It's not one, it's about 100. One of the biggest things I always hear is how these kids got nothing to do. There's nothing for these kids to do. At this time in history, 2026, folks, there is more things a child could do than ever before them in the history of time. I know people like to think that all the before internet, before TV days and all that, people could go outside and do all those things. They could still do every single one of those things today with the additions of today's technology and conveniences. It's not about kids not having anything to do anymore. We've taken a back seat as adults and our responsibility with them and allowed them to make decisions that otherwise would never be the decision of a child. Like I said, there's a lot of reasons for that, you know, and I've tried to kind of pinpoint one of the biggest reasons. It's mostly childless white lefty women. That's more than likely a big chunk of why, because they've been put in these positions of school districts, teachers, the administration. They've all been taken over by lefty, loony fucking women who, once the children couldn't meet the standards, well, we just get rid of the standards. Once children couldn't meet gotten rid of standards and the new standards, well, we just get rid of those standards. And that's part how we end up with the children we have today. And they're dangerous. They're fucking dangerous. You know, I did a little bit of time in juvenile before I kind of hit my adult spurt. Truth be told, the juvenile detention centers I were in were probably more dangerous than most of the adult prisons I was ever in. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of the main ones being is children are fucking stupid. They're impulsive. They're very short-sighted. It's weird being the adults, and we know that. about children, but yet we can't figure out how to straighten these kids out until kind of we can get back to the days of let me be afraid of mom's flip-flop or spatula or my dad's belt. You know, until we can get kind of back to that for the 1-800 child abuse days, you might have actually been able to keep the reins on some of these kids. But these stories they're every day in some city across this country, and you won't hear about most of them. Some of the reasons behind it are the organizations that fight to not hold children responsible for their decisions or their actions. Terrible fucking actions. We're not talking about just skipping school here, folks. We're not talking about not doing your fucking homework. We're talking about 11-year-olds running around with guns.
Close to a year after Scott Habermill's murder, social media videos provided more pieces and led police to 4 Albuquerque kids.
Is officially charged with murder. District Attorney Sam Bregman says Messiah Hayes was one of 4 kids who intentionally hit and killed Scott Habermill last May as he biked to work. Hayes was 11 years old at the time. Police say he was a passenger in the stolen car and was armed with a gun. DA Bregman also says Hayes is a suspect in multiple burglaries from when he was as young as 10.
And will shoot you. Don't get it twisted and not think twice about it. I found a story on god-awful PBS. Fucking PBS. I am so happy that Trump put that on his to-do list, was to take them out, because they should be taken out, because they are a leftist mouthpiece beyond any saving. And I found this story that they did about juvenile detentions, and I felt that most of why we're in the mess that we are today is highlighted in a lot of this story. So without further ado, let's let PBS tell us about their solution here to the juvenile delinquency epidemic we've got going on now. Let's see if they can give us any answers.
On any given night in America, nearly 50,000 youth under the age of 18 are confined in facilities away from home, 2/3 of which are in correctional-style facilities. According to the nonprofit Prison Policy Initiative, this number has decreased over the last 20 years.
We know why. Because they stop locking most of these kids up and they release them all the next minute after being arrested for some of this stuff. Charges never followed through with, cases dropped, set right back into the hands of the parents that don't give a fuck about them to begin with. But that's why the numbers have dropped. The juvenile trouble hasn't suddenly been solved by any fucking stretch of the imagination. It's only gotten worse. But yet they would feel the need to highlight that sentence right there. We got these sucker ass DAs in the positions that let them back out. I know the name Soros is real kind of like boogeyman joke to a lot of people. There's a lot of truth to the Soros-backed DAs in a lot of these cities. And they are leftists, they're Marxists, they're commies, they're socialists, they're every lefty Looney Tune you can imagine. And they are a very big reason why the numbers have declined and why these kids aren't ever being held responsible for their actions. Until it's too late, of course. Until it's too fucking late.
But the United States still incarcerates the most children in the world. Sarah Hinger is a senior staff attorney with the ACLU's Racial Justice Program.
The United States.
ACLU Racial Justice Program. Fucking white broad. Childless lefty white broad. Tell us all about it, Sarah.
Far outpaces other countries in detaining and otherwise criminalizing young people. And that has, again, similar to the adult system, a disparate impact on youth of color who are disproportionately represented in contact with the criminal justice system.
Because they are disproportionately making trouble. It's the simplest fucking way of putting it. There's more juveniles locked up in America because we got more bad kids than the rest of the fucking world. It's kind of plain to see at this point how, like, half these people still don't get it. How they still make excuses for this shit. Bro, it's banana land with these motherfuckers. And you'll never get to solving any of the issues when people like this are in the positions that they are. But they're disproportionately counted here because they're disproportionately bad fucking kids.
But why is that? And why are so many youths arrested in the first place?
That's a good question. Very good question. Very good question. I wonder if they give us an answer to that. Spoiler alert, they don't.
Michael Corriero is a former New York State Supreme Court justice.
At the turn of the 19th century, we created the world's first juvenile justice system. The idea behind that was that as a society, we had a moral obligation to recognize the developmental differences of children as compared to adults.
But the idea of rehabilitation through the prison system isn't working.
It isn't working, PBS says. I wonder if they're going to bring up any, other options to do here, versus, punishing kids that we're not punishing. That we're not fucking punishing. I fucking hate PBS. Growing up, I used to love it for some fucking reason. It's probably because I was an airhead fucking borderline lefty to begin with. But PBS is the biggest crock of fucking shit on the planet. They beg all these questions, then give no fucking answers, make more claims. Make more claims as if it backs up the beg the questions, as if the other claims weren't ever, justified to begin with. It's a fucking shit show of a fucking segment here.
In 2012, the Department of Justice began tracking formerly incarcerated people of all ages. The latest report, released in July, found that of individuals arrested at age 17 or younger, 71% have been rearrested within 3 years of their release. That number climbed to 80% by year 5. The impact on an adolescent's access to education is part of the issue.
Shut the fuck up. All these kids have the same access to education. All of them do. These fucking inner cities, bro, if they spend more money than anywhere in the country, half the kids don't want to be there to begin with. They don't want to be. And there's a lot of reasons for that. For one, they're children. And then, God forbid, they don't have parents at home, dictating what they need to be doing and shouldn't be doing. In bed by 9 o'clock. Eat your dinner. Do your fucking homework. These parents aren't parents anymore. And I don't know how, you think you're going to fix that issue. It's a culture issue to its core. And we've sat back and watched it deteriorate over the last 60 fucking years. As kids are having kids are having more kids. Those kids don't give a fuck any more than their parents do. Bro, they've got access to education. All children in this country do. The fact that they're not taking advantage of it it's a deeper fucking issue than I would even try and break down in a 30 fucking minute video here. But PBS doesn't even touch it. Doesn't even fucking touch it.
In 2015, the Council of State Governments found 1 in 3 incarcerated youth were either receiving or needed special education services.
The kids in school need special education services. The kids that are not in trouble and are still in school need special education services. Most of these kids, of course there are specific districts in the country where children are doing better than others. I'm sure you can deduce why that is, Sherlock. That's what I mean, bro. I was watching this segment earlier and it had me on fire. Listen to the excuses these people make, the issues that they completely sidestep and ignore entirely, and just chalk it all up to fucking, I guess, they just need more education, guys. More after school programs.
The report also found more than half of incarcerated youth were behind grade level in reading and math.
How many of them that aren't incarcerated are behind in reading and math? Oh, you don't beg that fucking question, do you, PBS?
And around 60% had repeated a grade. The educational obstacles after prison begin before the first arrest, says Hinger, when school disciplinarians initially put a child in contact with the justice system.
The school-to-prison pipeline
The school to prison pipeline. Let's let the leftist racial justice wackadoodle tell us all about the school to prison pipeline. I'm sure this will be a great explanation that'll clear it all up and explain everything to us very succinctly.
refers to the process whereby school systems address young people through discipline and criminalization, and effectively place them on a pipeline to continuing and more extensive contact with the justice system.
Good God, imagine this woman is in a position to help make laws. You'd almost imagine these people are living in an alternate reality, completely divorced from the real world and the real world consequences that these people are dealing with day in and day out. If you could only imagine the horror that it is to try and be a teacher in Baltimore City in Chicago is the argument that, like, we just don't punish these kids. Because, I mean, like, they don't give you nothing more than that. Like, there's nothing more from these people other than inferring that because we discipline children, or God forbid, call the cops on somebody if and when they, like, take it that far, that they are in turn responsible for why these children end up in prison. Bro, we got 11-year-olds killing people. We have 11-year-olds raping people. You can't fix issues, problems with like demon children by like pussyfooting around trying to get them straight. It's more than counseling, folks. It's far more than after-school programs. The track record that we've shown for the last, I guess, since early 2000s is that we don't hold them responsible for it. Even if they're arrested, I'm telling you, bro, these kids are let right back out. They'll be in and out 100 times, on probation, on all sorts of stuff, get in more trouble, and then they're just right back out. And meanwhile, like, we've got dingbats like Sarah here, whatever the fuck her name is, thinking, oh, well, it's just, it's just the teacher's fault. If you hadn't called the cops on Tyrone that stabbed his fucking student, he'd have been a doctor. I'm sure of it. Says racial justice dingbat.
And that can cause long-term harm.
It ends up undermining any sort of positive modeling or reinforcement. It further removes the child's attachment to school, alienating them and pushing them forward towards more negative influences.
Yo, this is like banana land, listen to this woman. These people read these fucking theories. Yo, we just need positive reinforcement so it doesn't, turn them away from school or nothing. Bro, these kids are fucking broken. Bro, like, when I try to pinpoint it to like one thing, it's more than that. It's far more than one thing. And there's 100 different ways that you could deal with troubled children. It's not a one-size-fit-all for anybody. I think for these children, bro, that are like taking guns and knives to school, shooting, hurting, and killing people, it's a no second chances with me. It's an iron fist. You're fucking gone. If you're 15 and kill somebody, I don't know if I'd immediately say like you've lost your life. Bro, you need 25 years for that. I don't give a fuck how young you are. If you were the best in your track team, I don't give a fuck if you had a scholarship to goddamn college. If you're hurting other people, bro, we gotta like figure out how to stop this. I don't give a fuck, if you want to go to school or not, if you're killing somebody. Like, it's banana land, bro. It's fucking like, bro, it's so the upside down with these people. And then you wonder how like we get the first kids that we got. I'm telling you, bro, it was a week's worth of stories. That whole minute and a half was a week's. Bro, I could have made it 20 minutes. Last week. Next week, it'll be another 100 of them. Man, we got a, positive affirmation. Bullshit.
And even if an adolescent is innocent when arrested, the length of time required to post bail could lead to a suspension or expulsion from school.
Juveniles do not get bail. At least all innocent juveniles. How often, do y'all actually think that fucking happens? Innocent children locked up on adult charges and given bail. Like, what are we even talking about here? Bro, I swear to God, bro, we should cut PBS at its ankles. Throw it in a fucking pit of lava and let it just disappear into the ash heap of fucking history. PBS is the most cocksucking bullshit on the fucking planet. Get the fuck out of here. When an innocent juvenile is arrested with bail, bro, that the customer base for all this shit are people that are so ignorant to this entire world. Entire world, bro. They could just make shit up cold on the spot. And the dingbats that are watching PBS fucking NewsHour, like, yeah, could you imagine the innocent juvenile that's arrested with bail who was in school? Oh my God. Call your fucking congressman.
So if a young person came into the system and bail was set and they were unable to make bail for 2 weeks or so, or someone was willing to put up the, that young person's education would be disrupted to the extent that very often they were not permitted back into the very schools that they were attending while they were arrested.
Bro, it's fiction. It's complete fiction. Juveniles do not get bail. There's no bail system for children. There's never been a child in your fucking life that you've ever heard of that got arrested and couldn't make bail. It's not a thing. It's never been a thing. ever in the history, I don't know if when they first started locking up kids that they even had bail for them in juvenile. We're talking about the adult system at this point. The moment you bring up the word bail, bro, we're not talking about juvenile systems no more. And how many innocent juveniles have you ever heard of being arrested for adult charges that couldn't make bail, and then in turn it fucked up their education schooling? People think you're fucking retarded. They think you're retarded. And unfortunately, there are a lot of retarded people who are watching this shit make decisions based on it. And then you wonder why fucking 90-year-olds are getting raped and murdered by 13-year-olds.
Children do attend school while incarcerated, and according to a 2013 Justice Department report, inmates of any age who participate in correctional education programs have 43% lower odds of returning to prison than those who do not.
Okay, and all in all, like, I'm okay with there being programs in these systems entirely. Like, I don't have a problem in the world, like, thinking, like, we should be doing something for them once they're there. I'm all for that. It's the not sending them there to begin with. That's my problem. Do I think that some kids can learn and get off that path? Sure. Do I think that there's a lot of kids out there that are just so far to rabbit hole of hood thug culture that they're probably unreachable at this point? Probably. I'm all for programs that could help these people change their fucking lives. But I am not in favor of like not punishing these people for when they do what it is that they should be held responsible for, Judge.
But the negative effects of traveling through the justice system and falling behind in school can follow youth well beyond their release. Formerly incarcerated people are twice as likely not to have a high school diploma. Their unemployment rate? 27%. According to the Prison Policy Initiative, when children are pushed away from education and into the justice system, it leaves them unable to compete in a job market that needs skilled workers.
We're not talking about fucking kids that are just like fucking stealing candy bars here, folks. They're talking like it's in like the 70s, where like a kid actually killing somebody was so rare, so like never fucking happened. All these conversations would make sense. They'd all make sense to me in the 70s. In today's world, bro, like they're talking like they're just not paying attention. That they're just completely fucking unaware of the reality of everything these kids are doing today. That it's just, bro, it blows my mind. Like, it almost makes me angry to think that this is like, bro, this is a big chunk of the Democratic Party at this point. All fighting to not send kids to fucking jail. Oh, they're just kids. Oh, they're just fucking kids. They don't know no better. Yes, they fucking do. And if they hurt somebody, it don't matter. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you can't finish school, you can't finish a track meet, you fuck kill somebody. Fuck you.
This is especially true if the individual did not receive youthful offender status. That status, Corriero says, means they could
come out of this experience without a permanent criminal record.
Bro, you dickhead. Juvenile records don't follow them into adulthood. They don't. They can't be seen. Anybody going up for a job when they're 19, if their only thing was just something juvenile, it doesn't come up. Bro, like this is like, it's like blatant fucking like falsehoods. Fucking judge. Could you imagine how many activist judges there are across this country just sending these kids right back home? Oh, you know, we don't want this on your record. It could hurt future job possibilities. Hood motherfucker that's robbing 70-year-old grandmothers with a knife. God forbid, yo, we don't want to fuck his shit up, you know, after he's done fucked somebody else's life up. Fucking blah.
Which is so crucial and important for young people in terms of their capacity to eventually enter into the adult world, if you will, with a clear slate in terms of opportunity.
You don't get a clear slate, yo, if you hurt somebody. Physically hurting other people, robbing people, shooting, stabbing, raping, God forbid. You do any of those things, bro, like you don't get a clean slate. I don't give a fuck if you were 12 and did it. Like is that the argument that like it shouldn't? PBS, NewsHour, ACLU, fucking Racial Justice Division. Fuck.
This is what drove Judge Corriero and his colleagues to set up and preside over the Manhattan Youth Park, a court exclusively designed to deal with the cases of kids between 13 and 15 and their co-defendants.
Which is the key time. That's the key time. Bro, I've been a mentor for 3 years. Almost 4 years now I've been a mentor. Be a mentor. We do 7th to 10th grade. It's the only ages we actually do. And more times than not, we've been able to get through those children of those particular ages because they're kind of at a crossroads. A lot of them are at a crossroads at that time of their life. It doesn't always work. Some kids just don't want to be got. Some kids don't want to learn anything that you want to tell them, teach them, show them. They don't care. Some kids are just in that mind frame. I'm going to do what I want to do. Bro, that was me when I was that age. So I know what some of these kids are like at that age. I'm all for these programs, but there's a limit to it. If it works, if it helps, that's great. We need to start holding these kids responsible. Period. Point blank. If you're like disorderly, fucking up the whole classroom, gotta get them out of the classroom. Because it's hurting all the other kids. Dude, it's a whole thing to it, bro. Like, and it's just so sloppy listening to this segment. Dude, I was just blown away that they would actually like put this bullshit out here. And all for nothing but programs. Man, you know, we just need more programs. Man, we just have more programs. Bro, like in today's 2026, bro, there's more programs that were ever available, ever in the history of fucking ever, bro. There's a program for it. If you didn't know that, it's probably because you're not looking and you're listening to some lefty organization tell you how there's none. All the funding's gone. It's a complete lie. They're everywhere. If you got a troubled kid and you want to get them into a program, get some counseling, you can do it in a second. Fuck, if there wasn't even one in your town, you can get them involved with one on the internet. There's thousands of these.
To channel youth cases to alternatives to incarceration programs.
Those who sat in that part were expected to understand the vicissitudes of adolescence, were expected to develop an interactive relationship, if you will, with the young people that appeared before. And what we tried to do was to develop a process that helped us to channel out of the system those children that we thought we could work with.
That's the key to that sentence. The ones we thought we could work with. Because not all kids are workable. Not all kids are fucking like fixable even. I know a lot of people make it, oh, it's trauma, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Every child is different. All of them. No two children are alike. Brought them to that point where they make that decision in their life. It's all different. And the excuses and the reasons that we've given these children of today to justify and rationalize, minimize even, half the things that they're doing is banana land shit. That's the key word. The kids we thought we could work with, we did. It's unfortunate that the ones that you didn't think you could work with probably aren't sent to where it is that they need to be sent to. Judge.
Linking them to alternative to incarceration programs.
The youth part eventually became a model for mobilizing social services for young people under a judge's watch. Because, Corriero says,
the dominant policy behind prosecuting children should be that of rehabilitation and not a punitive one.
If you fucking stab somebody, shoot somebody, rape somebody, bro, I'm gonna punitive you to your death. I'm gonna punitively send you to prison for the rest of your fucking life. Fuck you mean, bro? Like it's such a conflation. I'm telling you, they're talking like it's the 70s. And we're talking about hippies fucking smoking weed, to buck the system or something, bro. Far and beyond all that. Fucking watch some of my last couple videos. Give you a real good idea what these kids are fucking up to, bro. Gangster shit. We're talking about kids doing gangster shit, living out gangster fantasies. If you're gonna rob somebody, shoot, stab somebody, bro, we're punitively sending you to prison, period. Fuck your fucking record. Fuck your educational aspirations. You're fucking gone, punitively.
Young people are going through a period of cognitive development, which means not only are they likely to change and mature out of any challenging or problematic behavior, but also that as a product of where they are in life, their reasoning and decision-making skills are different, and they need different things.
Different things, huh? They're in a different place. Different things. Like the 11-year-old riding around with a gun, right? Like the 11-year-old that fucking with his buddies fucking ran over dude riding the bicycle, killed him, right? Different things. Different things. Like the 12 and 13-year-old that raped the 12-year-old, right? Put rocks in her mouth. Different things. Says the Racial Justice Division of the ACLU. Y'all better wake up. These kids will kill you. Kill you. Punitively or not, they will fucking kill you.